Welcome back, True Seeker. It is Monday, October 27th, 2025, and massive hurricane story today impacting Jamaica, Haiti as well. We're going to talk about it. But first, I want to get into a story that we covered yesterday on Patreon. I didn't get time to make a public news video about it. We looked at this before the Jets got their first win of the year in Ohio yesterday. Before the games were played on Sunday for the NFL, the news broke of Nick Mangold, somebody who played for the New York Jets for his entire career and who went to Ohio State. The news had broke that he had died at 41. And when it first broke, it wasn't clear why he died. We pointed out that right away he had died exactly 41 weeks into his age. If October 26th was the day of death, they're saying he actually died the day prior. But the point is, the news broke exactly 41 weeks into him being 41 years old. And he played for New York. Again, he went to Ohio State. The Jets were in Ohio. They went on to get their first win later that day. You know, New York, Ohio, isn't that kind of like Donald Trump and J.D. Vance? Trump, who had his convention in Ohio in 2016, in Cleveland, like Grover Cleveland, the only split-term president before Trump. Big New York guys, Trump. Of course, Cleveland's not that far from New York. But J.D. Vance, who just turned 41 earlier this year, we covered how the day of the news, he talked a lot about how much of a Cincinnati Bengals fan he was on his 41st birthday. So something we identified before the game kicked off is that if the Bengals were going to lose and the Jets were going to get their first win, the Bengals would fall to 7-4 at home versus the Jets in their franchise history, like Mangold wore 74. And sure enough, that's exactly what happened. Justin Fields was the quarterback for the Jets, who also went to Ohio State. And I just want to go through how perfect this ritualism is. So again, Nick Mangold, born January 13th. News of his death at 41, again, breaks exactly 41 weeks into his age. And again, he was an Ohio State Buckeye. They won the championship on the day that J.D. Vance was sworn in as the VP, Inauguration Day. And don't forget who told you before the season began, when the Columbus hockey star Johnny Gaudreau died with his brother, it was all synced up with the college championship game. That was the sacrifice for that. But yeah, from J.D. Vance's birthday to the news breaking was 85 days. National Football League 85. NFL stars dead. You could also say it was the 86th day of his age if you count the span. Human sacrifice and blood sacrifice 86. Again, the Bengals went on to fall to 7-4 at home versus the Jets. Like Mangold wore 74. And look at the score, you guys. 39-38, right? New York, we call New York 39 land. New York equals 39. And again, if you're new here, there's 4 base ciphers of the English language. The abbreviation NY is 39. That's with the alphabetic order. If you bring in numerology, New York is 39. If you bring in the reverse alphabetic order, NYC for the city, it's 39. And if you bring in the reverse alphabetic order and you write New York, NY like you'd write on an envelope, it's also 39. And again, a lot of 39 rituals with New York. It goes beyond the gematria. But New York gets their first one of the year. Remember earlier this year when Justin Herbert lost to the Giants, he got his 39th regular season loss. The score was 21-18, 39 points. Stuff happens all the time when you're paying attention. But yeah, New York wins with 39, and the Bengals go down with 38. Number of death, right? We've talked about this so many times. The Jets players dead from Ohio, and then boom, Jets get their first win in Ohio. But yeah, Murder by Numbers, the movie. The E's at 3, the B's an 8 in the poster. Murder has that gematria at 38. Just like killing, like death, like RIP, like gematria, like English, like the song by Slipknot, Gematria, the killing name, where they've lost 2 members of the band and they both died in 38 rituals. And then also, you know, Trump with all the gold stuff, right? Trump's 79 years old. The 79th element on the periodic table is gold. Nick Mangold is dead, and his full name, Nicholas Allen Mangold, equals 79. And then adding insult to injury, he died on October 25th, which was 133 days after Trump's birthday. President, White House, government, football, they're all 133. And remember, the NFL was founded on September 17th on the 133rd birthday of the U.S. Constitution, kind of like how the star of the league right now, Mahomes, is also born on September 17th. And for the record, you could say the news broke 134 days after Trump's birthday, like Make America Great Again equals 134. There's been quite a few 134 rituals with Trump as well. And then the news did break on the day, leaving 66 days left in the year, October 26th. Mangold equals 66. Same with NFL. That's the 11th triangular number. And just by the way, he did die on October 25th, which is the day leaving 67 days left in the year. Again, blood sacrifice is also 67. So is human sacrifice. So RIP Nick Mangold. And again, just like I said, this stuff happens all the time, especially in the time of sports championships. And I didn't cover it, but if you go to the Wikipedia keeps track of this, if you write deaths in 2025, if you go to October 24th, the opening day of the World Series, there were a lot of athletes who died on this day. And one was a Canadian ice hockey player. You see this? Jacques Moihot, dead at 63, the day that the World Series began. 63 is a big major league number. If you just write out Major League, it's 63. If you write out Major League Baseball, it's 63. It's just, Major League Baseball is also 117, like Toronto, like Dodgers, like Kevin Gausman just picked up his 117th career loss in Game 2 on the 117th day of Canada's age. But, a number of the deaths on that day. Rugby player, sports team owner, dead at 93. When was the last time the Blue Jays were in the World Series? 93? No one's going to question the death of the 93-year-old, but you start looking at it like, dead on the day of the World Series where the Blue Jays are back in it for the first time since 93. And again, this is what goes on year after year. So RIP Nick Mangold. And what I want to talk about more is Hurricane Melissa, which is already taken lives and probably going to take more. Let's hope not. But I mean, it's a massive storm and going over a highly populated area. So when you think Jamaica, you think Bob Marley. And Bob Marley has a foundation. Anytime a storm impacts Jamaica, you're going to hear about the Red Cross. And in Jamaica, you're going to hear about the Bob Marley Foundation. And they're saying this storm is going to make landfall later today, and it's going to move slowly over the island, and it's going to do devastation going into tomorrow. And at some point tomorrow, it'll move away from the island. So it's going to hit today, October 27th, and tomorrow, October 28th. If you're new here, Gematria, we talk about 52 with hurricanes all the time. Again, there's even a hit piece on me written by Vice News making fun of my research on hurricanes in 52. But notice, Jamaica happens to have that Gematria 52 like hurricane. When you run it in reverse, hurricane equals 56. And if you read the hit piece on me, it's about the Astros, how we called them beating the Dodgers in the World Series after the flooding of Harvey and LA burning up with the La Tuna fires. When the Astros won that World Series after the massive flood ritual, which was all about 52 with Harvey, that was their 56th season, the Astros, just for the record. But notice, from Bob Marley's birthday anniversary to this storm hitting today is 263 days, which is the 56th prime number. And of course, this comes up with climate change as well. Now, the storm's going to go into tomorrow, which is the 301st day of the year, and Bob Marley Foundation equals 301. Again, the last time they got hit by a hurricane, the Bob Marley Foundation made a lot of donations to the people of Jamaica. Expect the same type of things to be in the headlines this time. And the thing about it making landfall on October 27th is today leaves 65 days left in the year, and that's when Bob Marley and the Wailers' musical career started. Their first studio album came out in 65. And for the record, Bob Marley's from 9 Mile, Jamaica, which equals 65. The word music's also 65. Bob Marley's one of the most well-known musicians in the world. I looked at the albums that came out in October by the Wailers. Burnin' is interesting. Natty Dread. We just passed the anniversary of that album in 74. That's also the year that Bob Marley's solo career began in London. And we'll come back to that because Marley equals 74 like London, and the qualifying wind speeds for a hurricane are 74 miles per hour. Again, it's a deadly number, 74, just like what they did with Nick Mangold. Survival which also came out in October. So they got these 3 albums. They were all released in the 70s, 73, 74, and 79. And what's interesting is Hurricane Melissa equals Robert Nesta Marley forwards and backwards. And I don't know if there's a parallel to the Super Bowl here or not, but no doubt when you're watching Monday Night Football tonight, when you're watching the World Series tonight, you're going to see them bring up donate to the Red Cross to help the people of Jamaica. And we're going to get to that. It's just that today is 104 days before the Super Bowl. And anyway, the hurricane goes with Bob Marley's full name, Robert Nesta Marley. Kingston's expected to get impacted severely, which equals 44 like military. How many years has it been since Bob Marley died? It's been 44 years, May 11th, 1981. And the worst hurricane to hit the island is going to happen 44 years later. Remember, the HARP patent, one of the many military technologies that can influence the weather. You know, when these things happen, people always say HARP, HARP, HARP. Yeah, but again, HARP's 38 years old now, speaking of 38, and maybe there is something to that too, because Jamaica does equal 38 as well. And anyway, HARP, its patent date's the 223rd day of the year. Natural disasters 223. It stands for High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program, which equals 223. HARP's patent date had a life lesson number of 44, like the acronym HARP equals 44, like military. They say it has the power to quake the ground as well. Earthquake 44. So a few different interesting things about HARP. But yes, 44 years since Bob Marley died. And from his death anniversary to today is, you could say it's 169 days later, or you could say it's a span of 170 days, which means tomorrow will be 170 days after the second day of the storm, or a span of 171. The point is both days have the 170 connection, and sacrifice equals 170. And then again, the symbol of the Red Cross is the symbol of the Knights Templar. And again, you're going to see it all over TV in the days and week ahead to donate to the Red Cross for the victims of Jamaica. And if you've ever done research on the Red Cross, very, very little of the money donated to the Red Cross makes it to the victims. We're talking about really low percentages. A lot of money goes to the bureaucracy of the business of the Red Cross. But yes, today does leave 65 days left in the year. Again, like Bob Marley, his first record came out in 65. And we've talked about this before with storms, just the Red Cross banking off of it. So if you donate any money to the Red Cross, just beware. Very little is going to the victims. And like I always say, the power of this world, the structure. Again, we're on the Jesuits calendar system. The Jesuits have the Templar cross in the middle of their logo. The Jesuits are the modern day Templars. Again, all roads lead to Rome, to the church. And again, the U.S. military put out the document in the mid-90s, owning the weather by 2025. So if you think this is just Mother Nature making all this line up so perfectly in a year where, you know, there were hardly any hurricane stories this year. Most of the hurricanes threatened, but then stayed at sea. But now they give you this big whopper at the end of October. Jamaica, popular tourist attraction, place with a lot of culture and history, about to get smashed. And again, think about it from the cabal standpoint. You know, clear out some real estate, come in, get it for pennies on the dollar, et cetera, et cetera. Again, there's a lot of angles to weather warfare, disaster capitalism, population control. And that's the thing, too. You don't know what really happens when these storms happen. I mean, they give you these seemingly drastically small numbers of people who supposedly died. Could be a lot more. So yeah, again, they're saying the storm will happen today and last into tomorrow. And I got about 10 more minutes, and then I got to go start the Patreon live stream. For anyone who wants to join us, we'll be covering Monday Night Football and the other sports games starting in about 10 minutes. But if anybody has anything to add to either of these two stories or something else that's buzzing that I'm overlooking, the link is dropped. So I got 10 minutes. If you want to come on and share something, be quick with it, be efficient. Maybe we can get a few voices in here. The link is down there. I'll drop it one more time. Should be in your live chat. If you've never done it before, you just click the button and allow access to your mic. You don't have to allow access to your camera unless you want to be on screen. But shout out to Tammy with the big 5. Thank you again, Tammy. And thank you, Jacob. They said he was wearing a Batman costume. Who was Jacob? Who was wearing a Batman costume? I don't know what story we're talking about. We got another Batman story? RJ Harvey. Yeah, Harvey. Yeah, after, right. Hurricane Harvey, the way that was synced with the World Series, the 113th World Series, already 8 years ago. We got Lucky. What's up, Lucky?
Yo, what's up, dude?
Yeah, what's up?
Sorry, just trying to sort the mic out there.
Yeah, you're good. I hear you.
All right, good stuff. Look, there's something that's been bothering me for a long time. I think Candace is next. Sorry.
What's next?
Candace, bro. Candace Halloween. Is there anything there?
It's about Candace Owens?
Yeah, Candace Halloween, Candy, all of this stuff. I'm really sussing it, and I've been sussing it from Charlie's, yeah,
I'd have to look into it. If anything
He
happened
just-
to Candace, I suspect it'd be a lot like Charlie. He wasn't taken away in an SUV. Or, I mean, he wasn't taken away in an ambulance. He was taken away in an SUV. And they're both actors on the world stage doing the cabal's bidding. So
That's what I'm saying. I think we're getting ahead of this, bro. I think we're getting far ahead of this. So keep up the good work, bro.
okay, I'll look into that though. It is an interesting thought. So I'll remind you though, an older gentleman from the world stage who might be in trouble is Christopher Lloyd. If you guys haven't seen the latest season of Wednesday, his character is just his head in a glass jar and it gets eaten by a zombie. That character name equals 86. That season came out on August 6th, 8/6, a Wednesday, Mercury Day when Mercury's 86. And it was 86 days before Halloween, which is associated with the Addams Family. So look out, Christopher Lloyd.
Yeah, I think there's a massive portal opening up with this one. Whew.
All right, Lucky. Well, I appreciate the thought. I'll look more into your Candace theory.
Definitely, dude. Thanks for the opportunity. Good luck. I'll enjoy the rest of the show.
All right. Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Right, man.
What's up, Gamble Holics?
Hey man, I just wanted to say, did you look at the today Drake birthday and the fact that it's the 300th day of the year, and they said the Toronto Blue Jays supposed to be winning today. So I just wanted to see if you tapped into that, the 300th day of the year. Drake Aubrey Graham equals 300, and he's from Toronto. The Blue Jays play today, so I wanted to see if you tapped into that.
I missed that his full name equals 300. For people who missed it, just Drake alone's 39. On his 39th birthday, the Blue Jays got their 39th postseason win all time, becoming 21-21 at home and putting up 9 runs in the 6th. And that did even the Blue Jays and Dodgers records for the year at 102 wins, like his name. So that is interesting that his full name is 300, and it is the 300th day of the year. I'm going to have to explore that narrative a bit more. I don't think Toronto's going to win more than one in LA. So maybe today is the day. I have to look at that. Appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks, man. I just wanted to tap in on that, man. Keep going.
All right. Thank you. Good observation. CT. Is this a troll? CT.
No, this is not a troll.
Oh, okay. There's another guy
me?
named CT who is a troll, but okay. What's up?
Okay, I just wanted to share a little bit of insight. This is unrelated to this stream, but I know I want to say when Doug Martin died, these deaths are, the police could be doing them. The police could be connected to them, right?
Right, because Doug Martin had something went wrong with the cops, and they didn't put that out initially, but it did come out later.
Right, 100%. So I just wanted to share some info from a few years ago that there was a congressman. You can look him up, but you might have covered it back when it happened, back in 2020, named Luke Letlow, who died from COVID. And so I actually knew a family friend of his, and was told by that family friend that it was the hospital who killed him. And this information was all coming from the congressman's family. That was passed to the family friend, then to me, that it was the hospital that did it. So you're definitely on the right track there.
Listen, I have I shouldn't say firsthand, but somebody very close to me was working in a hospital when they killed a migrant who was perfectly healthy because they could not identify who his family was, which means they couldn't collect on the bills. So the way to collect on the bills was to kill him and say he died from COVID, which obviously our government was paying hospitals for anybody who died for COVID. I'm sure a lot of this went on in the country, and it's too bad more people don't know about it. Of course, YouTube was taking down that kind of stuff for medical misinformation when it was nothing but facts. And that's something to think about our medical system. That means you got killers in your hospitals.
Yeah, it's scary to think of. What I
Luke
heard is it
Letlow
was
died 56 days after the election, which was the number all over the whole pandemic. So
yeah. The story that I got was that he went and he got diagnosed with COVID and was seemingly perfectly fine, and then was admitted to the hospital and given, I think it was called remdesivir was what they were giving patients, and all of a sudden had a massive heart attack and died.
yeah, and I mean, just perfect guy that they chose. His name literally equaled COVID. So
Yeah. So just little insight. Just wanted to show you're definitely on the right track. And so is the Patreon stream you're about to do, is that going to be on the $11 tier or the $20 tier?
20. The $11
20. Okay.
tiers are the streams in the morning. $20 tier
Okay.
gets you the bonus afternoon stream.
Gotcha. So I had something else, but I'll wait for the Patreon stream.
All right. Thanks, CT. Take care, man.
Bye.
All right. Dinner with 777. No, he's out of here. Thoughts?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, man. For one, I just wanted to say thank you for the work that you do, man. Keep up the good work. I've been following for a while. And honestly, I'm on the Patreon, and I listen to all your streams and stuff, just really to show support. You give a lot of good information out, but some part of me, I'm not going to lie, I feel like, I'd be cheating if I use it. But that's just a battle within myself, you know what I'm saying? But maybe one day I'll just go ahead and start using the beds and benefits, man. But I know it sounds
Well,
kind of weird.
I totally get your sentiment there and understand where you're coming from. And I even feel partly that way, too. I never got into this knowledge to make money off it.
Right.
But sadly, that's the thing that speaks to a lot of people. And that's what makes you actually listen and care, because everyone's got bills to pay. But I get what you just said.
And it is kind of sad, honestly, because the work that you do goes way beyond that. But you're right, with the condition of the world and everything, how people are, you do kind of have to meet them where they're at, you know what I mean? So applaud yourself for meeting them where they at. And at the end of the day, I just kind of want to throw something else on there about that Drake win in Toronto, because you said it was the sixth inning, they made 9 runs, right?
9 runs in the 6th.
Right, and I don't know if you know, but Drake has a song on this album called Views, and that album art is like that whatever that stratosphere looking thing is in Toronto, it's like a view of that.
Okay.
But there's a song on the album where he says, "I'm gonna turn the 6 upside down. It's a 9 now." So when they scored those 9 runs in the 6th inning, I'm like, that's definitely a tribute to Drake. You know what I mean?
You saying that makes me think about how Toronto has a similar building to Seattle's Space Needle, and then Jimi Hendrix is from Seattle, and he has a song, "If 6 Was 9."
That's I didn't know that. You know what I mean? But yeah, that song on that album is called 9, and it's like, yeah, I turn the 6 upside down. It's a 9 now. It's like a tribute to Toronto. But which I guess that inning was also a tribute to Toronto, because that was their third highest inning in world, whatever history or whatever. But just want to throw that out there too, just a little kind of confirmation on what you were talking about and how it played out in that game. But other than that, man, thank you for having me on. Thank you for the work that you do, man. I'm gonna keep listening.
Appreciate it. Thoughts. Take care. All right, I do got to hop off, you guys, because I got to hop on Patreon. We'll be starting there in a couple minutes. Again, thanks to everyone who hits the like and the share, leaves a comment, supports the work. Thank you so much. And the trolls who don't think the work's good enough, hey, call in and be part of the community. Help make it better. Till next time, True Seeker.